Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's the 20th running of the Tony Hulman Classic, featuring the Loctite Crestletter Van Jusac Sprint Cars. It has been a typically hot, hazy, humid, oppressive Saturday afternoon in central Indiana. At one time, we had a heat index of over 105 degrees. Right now, 84 degrees, high humidity, partly cloudy, but only a 20% chance of rain. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee alongside Larry Rice. And, Larry, this is a most prestigious sprint car event.
Well, it's named after the man who has done more for automobile racing in Indiana, open cockpit automobile racing, than anyone else, Tony Hulman. And it was the first TV race that most of these USAC competitors had a chance to run it for. Therefore, it's big in their minds and hearts.
We've talked about the heat and the humidity. It will take its toll. We've had a number of drivers already in action today over in Illinois.
Yes, they ran a 100-mile race in Springfield. No less than 7 of them flew in for this race tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how important that heat was on them this afternoon. They lost 10 pounds. They've been drinking liquids. They've been eating carbohydrates, trying to get back some energy for tonight's event.
Well, Chuck Gurney won that event, but Eric Gordon was second. Now, talk about the Gordons in victory lane in sprint car racing here on ESPN this season. We have seen both Gordons, Eric and Jeff.
Yes, they've both been very, very close competitors in this division. They've been tough on each other. This afternoon, Eric got the best of Jeff. They'll probably try to return the favor tonight.
Well, Jeff is the quick qualifier this evening, and Eric Gordon is second quick. Now, covering the pit area will be Marty Reed. He's standing by right now with both Gordons.
If this was the OK Corral in the Old West, these two guys would have 6 guns firing at each other. Instead, they've got racing suits, and they're going to be doing battle at about 115 miles an hour out here tonight. Jeff Gordon on my immediate left, Eric Gordon on my far left. You guys, in our other 2 televised races, one of you won one, the other finished second, then you flip-flop. So this is really a showdown. And I guess the big question is, after all the racing action today, I know both of you are fatigued. Jeff, you're talking about a headache. What's going to happen tonight?
Well, it's time for me to break the tie. I'm tired of him getting quick time. I go out, I set quick time, I wait, I think I've got it, and then he goes out. He has to get quick time. So I'm tired of it. That's it.
We're talking about 0.4 of a second difference here, and yes, you are sitting on the pole again.
Well, unfortunately, I'd rather give him the fast time, and I'll take the feature win. Fast time doesn't pay, so we're just going to try to go out there and win the feature.
6th and 7th place last year in this very same event. Obviously, you guys are gunning for a better show. Is this going to be a 2-man race between the 2 of you?
Well, you got guys like Gene Lee Gibson and Bob Fry, Steve Butler. You can't count them out. Bob Ciccone, you know, they've run a lot more laps here than me or Jeff has, so you can never count them out. You know, I can't just set my sights, you know, on whatever Jeff's doing, because then somebody like Gibson will run off and leave us. So you got to keep your eyes open the whole time.
Yeah, you know, everybody can surprise you in the feature. Qualifying, yeah, sure, maybe they hit the right setup for qualifying, but maybe some guys didn't. And if they get that setup right for the feature, you know, you got to set your goal on whoever's fast and whoever's leading, and unless you're not, and try to go after that.
Well, I got to tell you, if you've got 6 guns down here, everybody would be ducking, because these are the 2 that are going to be firing the most bullets tonight.
Gentlemen, thank you. We'll be watching the Gordons, and we'll check back with you, Marty, a bit later this evening. Tonight's Tony Hulman Classic is being brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch. And by Mr. Coffee, maker of the iced teapot, the modern way to make old-fashioned iced tea. The first heat race is coming up momentarily. We're coming back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. The Tony Hulman Classic from Indianapolis Raceway Park. James McElreath, the 1977, was the youngest winner at 23. The eldest a year later, 78. Dick Tobias was 46. Steve Butler won it back-to-back in 87 and 88. 87 on the dirt at the action track, 88 here at Raceway Park. We could have a new youngest winner this evening, because Jeff Gordon is 19 and Eric Gordon only 22. We are ready now for the first of 4 heat races, and here now is your starting lineup with 1 lap before we go green. We've had a bit of shuffling in this. A couple of drivers have dropped out. Tony Reed's scheduled to start on the pole, car 31, alongside Thomas Nichols in 55. In the second row, Red Stauffer in 21, Brad Marvel in 3 RD. In the third row, on the inside, Bob Fry, a master on the pavement, Jim Mahoney outside, and your fast qualifier, Jeff Gordon, starts at the back, alone in row 4. So once again, 8 laps. The fastest 4 will transfer. An inverted start, Larry Rice, the fastest on the rear.
That's right. Red Stauffer and Bob Fry got a break. They got to move up when those 2 guys on the inside of the rows fell out. So they're starting a little farther forward than they should. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
Well, a good start off the corner. There's the green flag. We are racing the first of 4 heat races. Then we'll have a semi, and look at the move by Gordon early up to 3rd position.
Yes, Bob Fry got a good start. Red Stopper got a good start. Those guys on the inside all got good starts. Bob Fry went right straight to the front, and he's going to be tough to beat now, I'll tell you.
Well, Glenn Nibel, the man that puts together this race car, maintains that Chevrolet V6 power plant. That has a very distinct sound as it goes down the front straightaway. And look at this. Jeff Gordon has moved around Stoffer. He is up to 2nd position, and he sets sail down his long backstretch with that yellow number 20 of Bob Fry.
This is going to be an interesting battle. We're going to see very early who's quickest on this racetrack. Nibel's V6 has always been very, very fast here. It's dominated this racetrack on a couple of occasions. And of course, Jeff Gordon has dominated it in here the last 2 or 3 times we've seen him run.
Talk about that smoke in the first turn. Great smoke.
Yeah, so they get in. As you've noticed, the Nibel car that Bob Fry's in, when they get into that corner, that left front dips down. The smoke comes off when it dips down, and they slide the left front tire. It's got the least weight on it, so it's actually skid. Uh-oh, here we go. We're going to see Jeff give him a try right away. Oh,
they almost get together in turn 1. Jeff on the inside, Bob on the outside. Bob, of course, has a weight advantage with that V6. He can run a lesser weight, but once again, more horsepower perhaps right now for that V8 that's running in the 2nd position.
I think Jeff Gordon's just working a little better. You see Bob Price fighting that car getting off the corner a little bit. The left front's way up in the air. It looks like he's a little bit too soft on the right rear bar. When he lifts that left rear or left front up without all 4 on the ground, it gives Eric or Jeff a good chance. There you see it.
I think Jeff was showing a lot of maturity because he was waiting his time. And right there we see Jim Mahoney in the Valvoline number 8, and he sneaks up behind that purple number 55, Tom Nichols.
Yeah. Jim Mahoney's really a tough race car driver when it comes to pavement. The race cars let him down a couple of times this year, but they just did a yeoman's job on that race car this week. They found a crack block on Thursday. They took it to Glenn Nibel. They worked on it all night, got it back together, and they made it here tonight. They did a great job getting that car ready.
So Glenn Nibel, who is wrenching the car that's leading, had to re-sleeve a cylinder in this number 8 car so he could compete. And there is a high side move, and Mahoney moves to 3rd position. Remember, the top 4 transfer, those that finish 5th on back to the balance of the field will have to go to the semi.
That's right. You saw there, Mahoney did a real good job setting him up, finding the right spot, and going around him on the outside.
White flag, and look at the gap that has developed between 1st and 2nd. Jeff Gordon out in front. He heads down the backstretch on this 0.68-mile oval here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and he has a half straightaway advantage right now over the yellow number 20 V6 of Bob Fry, and Fry is a master on the pavement.
He is an absolute master, and it just shows you how really good Jeff Gordon has got this race car set up and how well he has mastered this racetrack over the last year.
Well, there is a good look at your winner, but there is the race for
3rd and 4th.
That's Gary's 4th position.
Red Stopper beat Jim Mahoney. After Jim Mahoney got around Tom Nichols, he caught up with him. He just wasn't enough time left in the race for him to do anything with him.
For the transfer, Gordon, Fry, Stopper, and Mahoney. We'll come back and we'll talk once again to Jeff Gordon. We're going to take this break and come back to Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Back at Indianapolis Raceway Park at the Tony Hulman Classic, the first salvo has been fired by Jeff Gordon, an 8-lap record. And it's a good thing the 8 laps was the distance to race. The car's radiator hose just let go.
Yeah, well, you know, the way we hook our radiator hose up isn't real good anyways, and I think it just slipped off. It didn't blow a hose or anything, but car is working beautiful. You know, the guys really got it working good. Hoosier tires are really working with us. Delta faucets, Valvoline oil, just, you know, all of them. MP vacuum truck service especially. You know, this motor's just running unbelievable.
Well, we're going to let your guys get to work as they're jacking the car up with you in it. Let's go back up to Gary Lee.
Kid has a great future. He can do it on the racetrack, and he always gets all of his sponsors in.
Every last one of them, didn't he?
We are ready now for the heat race number 2. Brad Armstrong and Kurt Kelly will start in the front row. Roy Carruthers, Steve Butler, the second row. Dave Durnwall, Greg Staub in the third row. Then it's Eric Gordon and Mike Peters. As we take a look at the CarQuest cage cam and the green flag, and we are racing in heat race number 2. Once again, Larry, the inverted start from the back of the pack. So your fast qualifier, second fast in this case, Eric Gordon will have a long way to go.
Kurt Kelly is leading this race. He got a real good jump. Roy Carruthers is going to work on him right away, though. He's not going to sit back there and let him go. He's coming right around the outside. This is a good move. He didn't even watch him. That's a tough move to make if you don't know what that guy in front of you is going to do. He didn't quite make it.
Steve Butler is up to 3rd position, a 2-time winner of this event. He went back-to-back a couple of years ago. And look at this 4-car race off the corner.
Okay, here comes Steve Butler. He's on the inside of both of them. Well, he should be able to get in there a little harder, but he can't quite. Kurt Kelly is running so low that nobody can go high, and Roy Carruthers doesn't seem to be able to muster up the power. There he goes.
Oh, very close, though, between Butler and Kurt Kelly. They almost got together as Roy Carruthers went by on the high side to take the lead. And now it looks like Butler may have a look at the high side, now sneaks down to the low side, down the back straightaway.
It's very tough to pass him on the bottom. He's running very low in the corner, so Butler's going to have to get his race car working around the top if he wants to get him. And right here on 4 is the best place because it's the flattest place on the racetrack. This is a great shot here. Eric Gordon behind these guys. He's caught up. He started last. He's caught up with the guys that are running second and third. Oh, look how close he's getting right here.
Now we look back from the rear of the car to Greg Stott, now back out the front, and they almost get together again.
Well, I tell you what, that's really scary.
Look at Stott. Look at Greg Stott move to the high side of the 44 car.
Those guys are all moving around trying to miss each other, and Greg Stott just took an open line around the outside of all of them and went right into second place.
Well, you're riding with Eric Gordon, who is now in 5th position, and that will not transfer to the main event. He sneaks to the inside, has a look down there. Now we go back to that shot, and he had, two passes.
Boy, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon that time. He never even thought about letting off. He knew he was going to beat him in there. He didn't know how far he was going to slide once he got in there, but he just kept going.
The Hoffman car in Butler, the white 69, is not handling. He simply cannot hook up the horsepower and get it down to the pavement.
He had trouble earlier. He didn't run very well in hot laps. He didn't qualify very well. Here's a good pass. Oh, man.
Almost.
Greg Stott is working very, very good in that race car. He went in there and just couldn't quite get the back end to hold under him.
But look at Gordon. This is Eric Gordon on the inside. He has a look. Now, we saw Stott win here on ESPN in the past here at Raceway Park. As we go back into the cockpit with Eric.
Okay, looks like he's up the side of him. He's going to see if he can get in there. No, Stott gets into the corner too good for him. He can't get that big shot going into the corner on Greg Stott.
The white flag will be out this time as they come off the corner. Head down past the grandstand. There is the white flag for Roy Carruthers.
Roy Carruthers doing a very good job. These are two good veteran race car drivers behind him. Roy's run a lot of race cars, but not sprint cars so much, so he's doing a great job. You see him smoking his tire.
Well, he got by Stott. Now does he have enough time in 2 turns? A yellow flag will have to revert back to the last completed lap.
Oh, we got somebody that's hit the fence over here coming off the 4th. That's why we saw, looks like he got into it with somebody, who's this in 4th place smoking, but somebody back there in 4th place is smoking. Looks like he might have got in trouble.
That's Brad Armstrong in car 22, and he, well, from our vantage point, we can't see if there's damage to the race car. He is okay. Brad's climbing out. He is all right, but this will give us at least a 1-lap shootout and will give Eric Gordon a real shot at Roy Carruthers. Now, Carruthers is driving the car. The number his stepdad, Johnny Caples. Johnny, of course, is the kart president and a long-time grassroots racer who, in fact, won a USAC sprint car race many, many years ago up in New York. As we take a look now at Steve Butler out of Kokomo, Indiana. He's a 2-time winner of this event, but he is struggling right now.
Yes, he's struggling quite a bit in this race, and I think it's great to see John Caples own a sprint car. He is a grassroots racer. He's the kind of guy that you like to see head of an organization like CART because he is a grassroots type racer.
Larry Rice, a former school teacher, will educate us this evening with some track facts brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Tough Motor Oil.
We talk a lot about stagger in sprint car and midget racing. The reason we do is because it's a very important part of the handling of the race car. Here we have 2 tires, one 89 inches, one 87 inches, 2 inches difference. These tires will be run at a place like Milwaukee or Phoenix. Big, wide corners where you don't need the car to turn very much. Over here we have an 84-inch left rear tire that would be run with this 89-inch tire at a place like Raceway Park. The corners are sharper, you need the car to turn more. Now as you go through the race and you heat up the right rear tire by smoking it, the air pressure in here increases and the tire size increases. That changes the handling characteristics of the car a lot. The same thing can happen with the left rear tire. So it's very, very hard to maintain this stagger throughout the entire race.
And now we can look at the stagger from the cage cam. We're riding with Eric Gordon, and right in front of Eric is Greg Stott. He rides in second, but your leader is Roy Carruthers. We are ready to go for 2 more laps. 2 laps to go in this heat race. The yellow flies. A good battle for second as Greg Stott has a look to the inside, and he may have him now.
All 3 of those guys got a real good start. All 3 were on the gas. You can see Eric Gordon smoking his tire trying to get under him. He just couldn't quite get the horsepower to get underneath either one of them.
And he makes it by this time on the inside as we see Roy slide just a bit in the corner.
That's a great shot. Look at him. You can see that race car. Can you imagine being in there and watching him slide like that? Imagine what you're going to try to do to miss him.
You'd like to be out there, wouldn't you?
I'll tell you what, it is neat. I love to watch these race cars when they're working like this. See those wheels turning ever so slightly, but that race car moves a lot.
He may have him. He may have him on the inside. Is Eric on the outside? Oh, hang on, Eric. He may lose that position now.
No, he's going to lose it because he's got that tire so hot. See, he just got it so hot, he glazed it over that he couldn't get any forward traction. Once you get in that position, you're kind of stuck. You're darned if you do and darned if you don't, so to speak, because if you get out of the gas, they're going to go around you. If you stay on the gas, they're going to go around you anyway.
So, car number 21 of Roy Carruthers takes the victory. We have seen him a number of times here on ESPN in midget competition as well as the sprint car, so he takes the victory. We're coming back with more from Raceway Park. We are ready to go green. Will they get the yes? We have the green now. Let's see if it stays out as they scramble for position into turn 1.
Now, Mike Bowling got a jump on him that time. I think it will probably stay here. Ooh, Gene Lee had something smoking real bad coming off there.
They get to climb on the brakes to avoid hitting somebody right in front of him. There's Charlie Workman. He makes a move, and look at Parsons.
Yes. Mike Bowling jumped out to a pretty good lead here all of a sudden. Everybody's having a little trouble getting around Don Townsend there in second place.
There's Bruce Field in the green and white car down low on the inside. Car 85. Parsons now tries the high side. And we're going to have 3 abreast coming off that second car. Parsons gets squeezed just a bit. Bob Fry make that Bruce Field goes by. There's Parsons. Now Don Schilling in car number 12.
That got very close, very quick. Parsons in that blue car was clear on the outside. He was the closest man to the fence. If he had stayed there, he was going to be the loser in that fight, I'll tell you.
Well, now a fight for first position. And there goes Parsons in that blue and red car on the outside. He has some room. Can he make it stick? Yes, he moves up to second, but perhaps only momentarily as Bruce Field in that green and red and white car moves to the inside. They almost touched the new time.
Yeah, he pulled down just a little bit. He hit his left rear on the right front of Bruce Field's car, and it was pretty exciting there for a second.
Look at Don Schilling, though, in that black number 12. He built this car primarily for this racetrack in a Winchester, and he was up to third, but he's being challenged for that position. Parsons now has the lead.
Yeah, Gene Lee's coming up now. This is a very close-knit group of cars. They're all running real close to each other and real tough. I'm glad to see Parsons. Parsons will tell you this is not his favorite kind of racing, sprint car. He didn't look a bit tentative when he was in that group of cars a while ago, though.
Right now, Mike Bowling continues to run in second position. And Mike is a driver these guys have not raced with much. They really don't know what he's going to do out there, and that can really be at a disadvantage.
Well, I think that's what everybody, see Parsons is way out front. Everybody now is trying to figure out how to get around him. Mike got a little sideways there. He's going to give those guys a good chance to get around him if he doesn't keep that car straight, because when you get sideways, you kill a lot of momentum.
Well, only 4 transfer, and there's the 4th position. Now that goes to Schilling.
Mike Bowling has jumped now. He's heated that tire so much, he's got it so hot that it'll never stay straight. He's glazed it over. Once it gets glazed over, it gets real hard. It's just going to do that.
Slides up in front of Gene Lee. Gene has to cut across the back of that tail, and he goes by the low side for 5th position. Now, does he have enough time to close down that gap and challenge that 4th and final transfer position? Well, I'll take it back. Gene Lee is now in 4th position.
That's right. He's come up to 4th position. He ran real hard to get around. When a guy is smoking a tire like that, it's tough to know what exactly is going to happen, so you got to be a little bit careful. Don Schilling now, with his pavement car, is going to work real hard to try to get around Bruce Field here for second spot. Even though he's got the feature made, he doesn't want to settle for that. He's going to try to go for second spot.
Talk about a new car in that black number 12. The other car, maybe one of the oldest ones here for Bruce Field. There is the checkered flag for Johnny Parsons. Welcome back to Victory Lane, JP, and there's the battle for second. Field hangs on. Third would go to Schilling, and 4th to Gene Lee Gibson.
Yes, that was a good race. John drove a very good race. He got out front pretty quickly. He took some chances. He didn't look a bit tentative for his first ride in a sprint car on pavement for a while. He looked like he knew exactly where he wanted to go and how he wanted to get there, and he just took off and went.
Johnny Parsons is an excellent race driver on 2 occasions. He's finished 5th in the Indy 500, but has never won that championship in USAC competition. Finished twice a couple of times. We're coming back. There's your top 4. We have heat race number 4 coming up.
Well, a man who we thought hadn't run a sprint car for about a dozen years has sort of told us something here in Victory Lane. You ran twice last year? So where?
Oh, we ran in Toronto, Marty, up there with, I ran the V6 at Bob Fry's in tonight, as a matter of fact, because I drive their dirt car.
I got to make a comment here. Is this the sign of a veteran who can do the hat routine this way?
This is a new concept in the hat trick. You know, we have to give everybody their fair share of their time on the air. I mean, this goes on all the time in racing, right?
You better keep going, because we're going racing, so you better flip the last hat or it's bye-bye.
Oh, is that right? Okay, Ta-da! There you go. Go, guys. Let's go racing. Man, we don't have a Goodyear hat. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just 12 years since he's been here, but it's nice to have JP racing here this evening. Another great crowd on hand, and we get ready for heat race number 4. In the front row, Greg Wheeler in 16, Ron Kohler outside in car number 10. In the second row, Mike Blake in 81, a rookie Rick Howerton in car 22. In the third row, on the inside, is Doug Hebron making a rare appearance in a USAC sprint car. Bob Ciccone debuting a brand new Beast chassis outside, and Jeff Bloom rounds out the field alone in row 4. And so who are we going to watch in this one, Larry?
Well, I think Doug Hebron will be a good one to watch. He hasn't run a lot of sprint cars. He runs a lot of modifieds out east. And he could be a kind of a sleeper here tonight because he's a very good pavement driver. Bob Ciccone and Jeff Bloom are both real tough. So it's going to be a kind of a shootout between these last 3 or 4 guys. I'm going to watch Ciccone because he flew his own airplane in here this afternoon, and I'll see if he's as safe in this thing as he was in the airplane this afternoon.
And he told me it was not one of his perfect landings, like maybe landing on an aircraft carrier, but he actually got the cable.
Well, he hit a little hard, but when that grass was on the ground, I didn't care how it got down there.
Hebron will start inside of Ciccone, and Ciccone with the brand new car. And right in front of Ciccone is that light blue number 22 of Rick Howerton, a rookie in the sprint car series this season, and a leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, the green flag. We are racing.
That was a pretty good start.
Ron Kohler got a good jump there at the start, but look at Howerton in that powder blue number 22. He slides a bit in turn 1.
Yeah.
Look at Ciccone. Look at Ciccone.
See there? He came back from the outside 4th row, 6th starting spot, made this move going down the back straightaways and lead already. He's a rocket ship here tonight, it looks like.
Ciccone in a Gertie-powered Beast chassis the first time out for this car, and boy, he was a rocket ship at the start.
Yes, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of experience. He really knows how to run this racetrack. He knows how to run that race car. He's got a lot of experience with it, and he didn't let it grasp for under his feet when it was time. Here goes Jeff Bloom. He's taking a little longer to get through the traffic, but it looks like he's got his race car working pretty good. Uh-oh.
He's fought with this car and this blue 67 all season long. Before we saw him upside down here in the front straightaway in a blue and white car. I said, Gary, that car was unlucky. I've repainted it. It's now blue with the kind of pink letters on it.
Yes, that's his own race car. He spends a lot of his own time and money and energy in that race car, so I'm glad to see him doing fairly well here this evening. It is good racing. He's come back from a long way. He didn't get a very good start. He didn't get that big jump at the start of the race. But once he got himself sorted out, he moved right straight through the pack. He picked them off one at a time, not in big bunches.
Well, there's the white number 5, and that is Doug Hebron. Hebron we talked about coming in from the East Coast to race with us this evening. But look at that gap now between first and second. And there is second place Rick Howerton, the son of
he sneaked right
another race driver, Jackie Howerton, and he's a junior in college, a mechanical engineering student at a college here in Indianapolis as we look back at a good battle between Hebron and Mike Blake.
That's right. That's for 4th position. This is the transfer spot, so Doug Hebron's gotten around Mike Blake, and Mike's going to try to get back up there so he can make the feature race.
I'm impressed with the ride thus far by Bob Ciccone. He got a great start, and once he got the lead, he continues to open it up over Rick Howerton.
I'll tell you what, Rick Howerton is doing a very good job back there in second spot. He's running fast, he's running smooth. We talked about this kid one other time about not getting a lot of credit, but he does do a very good job.
So Ciccone is out in front, but now as we take a look, it looks as though maybe Rick starts to close in just a bit. Rick Howerton, as we indicated, will be a junior in mechanical engineering. He wants to drive race cars, and really, he doesn't have a lot of experience going into his first full season of sprint car competition. He is the leading candidate for USAC Rookie of the Year in this division.
That's a brand new Beast race car. He does a great job with that race car. He keeps it good and straight. 1 and 2 are both Beast cars. You can tell that this car has been very dominant on the circuit this year, and they have good drivers in a lot of them, but they are good race cars.
We talked a lot about them, but they're winning everything. There's the checkered flag, so Ciccone debuts a new chassis with a victory, and right behind him is Rick Howerton.
It makes it pretty...
Well, you know, Johnny Parsons is great to visit with in Victory Lane. We like to tease Bob Ciccone, but Bob is a guy that can take it as well as dish it out, and I imagine he'll have some quips for us. As you indicated, he flew you back from Springfield at that Silver Crown race, a very, very conscientious pilot. We'll have a chance to come back and talk to the man with the eyebrows, Bob Ciccone.
Back with the winner of our 4th heat here, Bob Ciccone, and I got to tell you, the rule of thumb is usually you bring a new car out, you have to take a few races to sort it out. You just ran to the front and ran away.
Well, it may be deceptive. We're not quite as fast as we'd like, Marty, to be. You know, I'd like to be a little bit quicker, but I think right out of the box, it's a testimony to Jack Steck and Greg, his son. They really prepare a good race car.
I have to ask you about something earlier today, coming back from Springfield. Your plane and Eric Gordon's plane, you're actually racing in the air?
Well, sort of. See, I'm not like that. You know, I'm not like that at all. I'm a pretty laid-back guy, you know. But Steve Butler threw down the gauntlet. He said his airplane could beat mine. So that was it. You know, I had to beat him, you know.
So who won?
I did, of course.
But it was safe flying all the way. We're not talking about...
Sure. No, that's just naturally we obeyed the speed limit and everything. It was, you know.
You're going to break the speed limit in the main?
No, I'm just... Oh, yeah. Well, I hope so. We have to. There's a lot of good race cars here. A lot of fast cars tonight. And, excuse me,
the guys in the truck are saying nice hair.
Thanks. Which one? The third one to the left is my favorite.
We'll see you in the main. Let's go back, Eric.
Hey, that would not be a fair race. Rice, you came back with Ciccone. He has a twin prop, and Butler had a single. Now, with our apologies to Chris Berman, we have some Bermanisms here, and I will not take responsibility. Larry, you're not responsible for these. You're down there at the bottom. Fried Rice. Don't Ask Howerton, Flash Gordon, Open Wheeler, Tuesday Night Bowling, Strawberry Field, Black and Bloom, and Clip-On Tyler. And well, here's a look at a mainstay at Indianapolis Raceway Park, Leonardo's. Leonard Beck has been around for a lot of years, serving up the Italian sausage and the tenderloin. That's some pretty good eating. In fact, all of us had something down there before the race this evening. Well, we didn't have time for the semi to show you the highlights, but we do have the results, as these four will transfer to the 30-lap main event. Dave Dernwald, Brad Marble, Charlie Workman, and Kurt Kelly. Well, it's a hot, humid summer evening, but I tell you, we have an excellent crowd here at Indianapolis Raceway Park for the Tony Hulman Classic, and let's spotlight another Gordon. The Amtrak passenger train heads westbound for Indianapolis. It passes through Jamestown, Indiana, and by the race shops of car builder Lee Osborne. It is here that the sprint and dirt cars of Eric Gordon are prepared in an effort to chase down the runaway train of Jeff Gordon.
You've sort of been the other Gordon all summer. How do you feel about that, Eric?
All the big races this year, he's been one of the guys that you got to watch. So, you know, Jeff has worked for it, but, you know, kind of away from the cameras and all the hype, we've been running real good. So, you know, as long as other people know that we're running just as fast or faster in some cases, that's fine with me. Last show, Jeff won, and we lost by about half a car length because of a radius rod. The first show, we won, and Jeff finished second. You always got to consider Jeff as a threat at IRP.
What are your goals, and what kind of a time frame do you have for those goals in the future?
Well, the immediate goal is a sprint car and a Silver Crown title. And then future, down the road a ways, NASCAR, IndyCar. Probably NASCAR because of the oval track experience will help me there. But immediately, I want to concentrate on the sprint car and Silver Crown car.
You started in quarter midgets. How was the transition to sprint cars from those?
Well, it was hard because when I ran quarter midgets, I ran nothing but asphalt. And, you know, that was 10 years of asphalt. So when I went to run sprint cars, I ran wing sprint cars on dirt, and it took a long time to learn how tracks change and how to set the cars up to keep ahead of the track. And now that we're running the asphalt, all that stuff I learned in quarter midgets has come back to help me.
What's your favorite type of car? You've run midgets and sprint cars and Silver Crown cars. Which do you like best?
Well, my favorite was always running like a wing sprint car because you could just let it all hang out and just run, you know, wide open, your ears pinned back. But this is my first year in a Silver Crown car, and I've always loved watching them. When I was a little kid, I'd go watch them at the fairgrounds and just fell in love with them. And now that I've got to run one, it's quickly becoming my favorite car.
The soft-spoken Eric Gordon lets his right foot do all of his talking for him. We're coming back with more from Indianapolis Raceway Park. A first lap crash triggered by Greg Staub has eliminated 4 cars, including Staub, Red Stauffer, Gene Lee Gibson, and Bruce Field. We had a red flag. No laps have been completed. A complete restart here at Raceway Park. So we still have side by side the two Gordons. There's Eric in the white number 2 and Jeff in the black number 4. And here is a great shot looking back at Eric from the CarQuest in-car cage cam. Although this is not the normal shot that we would have, but there's a good look at the driver, and right now he is all concentration. Look at his eyes as they are coming off the corner for the green flag. Jeff Bloom gets a good jump in that blue number 67, and here comes Eric Gordon to the inside of Bob Fry.
Yes, he got a great jump, and Eric Gordon got a good jump, too. Bob Fry was a little slow getting off the line that time, and he gave both these guys a chance. Here goes Eric going by. The horsepower showed up going down the back straightaway. That V6 just a little short on the long end of the straightaway and let Eric get by him in the third corner.
So Bloom leads the first of 30 circuits here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Eric Gordon is second. Bob Fry in the yellow number 20 is third with the V6. And Jeff Gordon is now in fourth. There is a look over the helmet of Eric Gordon down the backstretch into 13-degree banking. This is what it looks like as he challenges for the lead. He takes a look to the inside. The track flattens out there. It's very difficult to make the pass right there.
Yeah, it's very difficult to make that pass down there in that corner. Eric is doing a very good job following him, sizing him up. He looks like he's going to be running too high to pass him on the outside, so Eric's going to have to try to get him on the inside. He's going to give him a shot going into 3, real hard. Whoop, he gets sideways. He couldn't quite pull it off. He didn't have the momentum to get up in front of him, and he was going to run into him if he kept going, so he had to back out.
That gives us a great shot at how he fights that steering wheel right there. Look at him fight that wheel into the corner, still in second position, right behind Bloom, and that's blue number 67.
Yes, he's moving that steering wheel just a little bit each way, just trying to keep that car exactly straight as he can. So he just moves it a little bit. You can see the wheel just turning very, very small amounts, trying to keep that car very straight so that he doesn't lose any momentum coming off that corner.
But Fry has tucked right in behind in third position. That's the V6 Chevy. In fourth is still Jeff Gordon. And now in fifth position is Bob Ciccone. So Ciccone has a good ride going. As we look at the top three right now into the third turn, we look back now at the concentration. Watch his eyes. Watch Gordon and watch the elbow fight that steering wheel.
Yes, you can see here, it doesn't look like he's moving that wheel very far, but if you look, watch his elbows, they're moving quite a bit in that race car. But he's really concentrating on running smooth, keeping his tires cool, and just working on a place that he can get around. Bloom moved up. Bloom moved up. But
he doesn't have him yet. He doesn't have him yet. And I'm wondering now, is Fry just sitting back there in the rocking chair watching this, waiting for his opportunity?
Well, Fry's watching him smoke that right rear tire. He knows if he does that very often, it's going to give him a great chance to get around it. So he's not going to get real excited. Fry's been at this a long, long time. He's not going to get real excited and try to pass these guys here in the first 2 or 3 laps. He's going to take his time, size up the situation, then go after it.
7 laps now complete. Fry is a master at pavement racing. He will not abuse that right rear.
No, he won't abuse it. That race car is a little bit lighter. Here we see Steve Butler. He's had a problem. He's pulled in. That's too bad because he's awfully good competitor. Oh, Eric Gordon's real high down here. He got real high. I don't know whether his tire got hot a while ago or what, but he got in there real, real high, and Fry was there to take advantage of the mistake when right on the rail.
And there goes Jeff. There goes Jeff Gordon by. So Eric has dropped from second to fourth, and right now he is losing a lot of ground.
Doesn't take much of a mistake here to fall back like that. I'll tell you, not much of a mistake at all.
There has been good racing throughout the heat races, the semi, and now the feature from top to bottom this evening.
Yes, here we're looking at some of the guys a little farther back.
Doug Hebron in the white number 5 as he goes by Dave Durnwald down the front straightaway into turn 1. He, of course, is a driver with a vast amount of experience in the supers out in the Oswego area.
Right, that's Rick Howard back there, and I think Roy Carruthers, too. All those guys back there fighting real hard. They're a little ways back in the pack, but they're trying to get their act together and move on up the field.
Of course, Carruthers and Howerton were both involved in that first lap, first turn altercation. They were able to restart, but had to restart at the back of the pack.
Yeah, that makes it very tough when you have to move clear to the back of the pack and pass all those guys. Oh, here we see Fry. Fry now starting to abuse his right rear tire a little bit. That's pretty unusual for him. Okay, this is a replay of Eric Gordon getting into the corner, into 3. He got in there very, very hard, trying to catch Jeff Bloom. He just got sideways. Look at that. He just got real close to the fence. The back in that car was real close up there to the fence. He lost all his momentum. He heated up the tires, and when he did that, everybody went around him. Here,
Johnny Parsons just went by him in that blue and red number 25. An infrequent visit to a sprint car race for Johnny Parsons.
Okay, Eric, obviously, once he got that thing loose, he's got a problem with the chassis. He just doesn't seem to be working like he was earlier in the race. He worked very good for the first 3, 4, 5, 6 laps. Then something, I don't know exactly what happened, but it looks like the race car's gone dead loose on him, and he's just fighting to hang on right now.
Oh, here's the battle for the lead. Jeff Bloom continues to lead, but there is Bob Fry, and right behind Bob Fry, there's the yellow. Trouble right along the main straightaway. Car number 22, that is Jackie Howard's son. That is Rick, a rookie, the leading contender for Rookie of the Year in the USAC Sprint Division. He is okay. He is climbing out. A lot of damage. Part of that damage was done in a first lap, first turn altercation, but he is okay, but hard contact.
That's right. Part of that tail was banged in on the first accident, but he's hit the wall awful hard. He's got the right rear laying off of it. The right front looks like it's gone. So he hit.
Now watch him here, the top of your screen, moving in from the right. Right there, he's already hard into the fence. He had been up to 12th position after starting at the back of the pack in 16th.
He had already lost the right rear wheel before he ever got into the fence. Something happened. He might have cracked that wheel in the earlier altercation. They didn't change it. The wheel broke loose, came off. That might have been what happened. We don't know for sure, but it was off when he hit the fence.
Well, there is a good look at the youngster who is a junior in college. He'll be headed back to the classroom in just a few days. A junior at IUPUI here in Indianapolis, but we're under yellow, and that will take a few laps to clean the track off. And we will take this break and come back to resume action in the 18th running of the Tony Hulman Classic.
Well, we're down here with Rick Howerton, and it's nice to know that you're okay, but what happened?
We're coming off turn 4, and the center of the wheel punched out, and then the car slid into the wall after that. It took us a little while to get going in the feature. Got off to a bad start. We got involved in an accident early, but we got the car working pretty good, so we'll just have to wait till next time.
Well, we also wanted to bring you up to date on Eric Gordon's situation. He has pulled in for a right rear tire change, and we can also tell you that they were concerned about maybe that right rear shock is still too soft, and that's what caused that tire to get burned out, and they had to replace it.
Larry Rice, it's important for Eric Gordon to pick up as many points as possible. He's 106 points behind Steve Butler in the points championship. And right now, Steve Butler's out of this race, so he could certainly cut into that point lead.
Yes, he's running, I think, at 12th place right now. He's the last car on the racetrack because he did make a pit stop, but he's going to try very hard to gain every spot.
Well, Jeff Bloom leads after 12 of the 30 laps. Bob Fry second. Then it's Jeff Gordon, Johnny Parsons with a good ride, Bob Ciccone. Those are your top 5. Then it's Jim Mahoney, Doug Hebron, Roy Carruthers, Dave Durnwald, Kurt Kelly. They're your top 10 right there, but only 12 are running. 11 would be Charlie Workman, and 12 would be Eric Gordon. The green flag flies on lap number 13, and look at that move by Bob Ciccone trying to go by on the inside of Johnny Parsons.
Yes, those two guys flew back on an airplane together today, but they don't look like they're very friendly at this moment because Bob Ciccone wants that spot real bad.
Parsons still has it, but there's a battle up in front.
Okay, we're watching Eric Gordon back here in the back. He's started last because of his pit stop, replaced the right rear tire. If it really helps him, if it really makes that car handle, he should get through these back guys pretty easily.
Well, he picked up 3 positions, and now he goes to work on Roy Carruthers down to the inside. Can he make it stick go by? Yes, nice move.
Yes, obviously the right rear tire, something happened to it. He was either going flat or just had glazed over. I don't know what happened, but he's working much better now. So it's going to be interesting to see him walk through this traffic. This is Jim Mahoney he's working on right now. We're going to see him work on him a little bit through this corner and try to duck under him coming on the 2, I think.
Well, he has enough time left that perhaps he could finish in the top 5 if he had another yellow to bunch him up. Well, let's go back to the pit area for this observation by Marty Reed.
Well, we talked to Don Schilling. He's no longer in the race. He was blowing oil right before that last yellow, so he pulled it in. Also, talked to Jeff Gordon's people. They are sure that Jeff Bloom is going to burn out his tires and back up. They are in a very hard compound, harder than just about everybody else out here, and they think that the race will be between Jeff Gordon and Bob Fry.
Well, so often, Larry Rice, a tire compound can win a race for you, and this is a long, taxing racetrack.
It makes you or break you on this racetrack. It doesn't seem like this racetrack is that fast or that hard, but it's very hard on tires. And here you can see Fry. He's biding his time. He's following Jeff Bloom, just taking it easy. But he smoked it a couple times.
That's not wise.
There he did it again. If he keeps doing that, it's going to give him trouble later on in the race. This race is too long. He can't smoke the tire like that.
17 laps complete, so we're over halfway home. And look at the margin now, that gap between second and third.
Yeah, second and third, I think probably because
Jeff. There goes Gordon. Yep. Up another position. That's Eric on the inside of Jim Mahoney. And there we go back to the CarQuest cage cam. I like these in-car cameras. Off the corner, down the front straightaway, and he has that position. That gives you the feeling of how close competition this really is. How really, really close you have to get to a guy in order to make that pass work. Gordon is up to 6th position right now, and 6th position in a feature would pay 45 points, so he can really cut in to that 106-point advantage that Butler had. Yeah, he needs a yellow right now. He needs a yellow. Here he's after Bob Ciccone. He's caught up with Ciccone already now. Ciccone's running pretty fast, remember, and he's come all the way from the back to catch him and go after him for this spot. Well, that is the battle for 5th position right now through the corner. We only have 10 laps remaining now as we come off turn 4 and head down this front straightaway. Yeah, it's going to get tougher. You can see the little line on his right front tire. He's got a little bit of push in that car right now. It's beginning to work on his right front tire, so he's going to wear that thing out if he's not real careful. Well, now, back to the front of the pack. You talk about car number 20, the yellow number 20 of Bob Fry, biding his side, but we have seen him smoke that right rear, so he may have to have something go wrong with car 67 if he has a chance. And what about Jeff Gordon? Well, they're all three. Nobody's really biding their time. They know a 30-lap race is not that long. They have to run 100% all the time, but they don't want to do anything foolish. They want to bide their time only to the extent that they don't do anything silly. They don't wear out their tires. They want to make sure they've got a good move when they try to make a move in front of them. Well, we're not seeing Jeff Gordon slide that much as we have seen the two guys out in front, Bloom in the blue 67 and Fry in the yellow number 20. Yeah, Bloom doesn't seem to have quite the advantage now that he had earlier. Looks like the back end's starting to get out on him just a little bit. And Gordon is closing in. Jeff Gordon is closing in on your 2 leaders. We have 7 laps to go. He has enough time to make this a 3-car shootout. This could be very interesting here at the end. If what Jeff Gordon's crew thinks is true happens, then these guys in front are going to have tire trouble, and he's going to really eat them up these last 3 or 4 laps. So it's going to be very interesting. Well, Bloom is now the 4th fast qualifier. He had a good qualifying effort. Bob Fry was the 5th fastest qualifier. We still have 6 laps to go, and Gordon is still closing in. Jeff Bloom has been around a long time. He's driven these racetracks as long as I've driven them, and he's not going to give this away. Well, Eric Gordon is still trying to get around Bob Ciccone, but he can't get that job done. That's the battle for 5th position, and now we come up on 5 laps remaining. Well, the closer you get to the front, the harder it is to get around the guys, of course. Here we are. Fry's still working on him. He's trying him high. He's trying him low. He's trying him everywhere. But, you know, Jeff Bloom just knows where the racetrack is to be run. And he's going to run in that spot. If Bob Fry wants to go around him, he's going to have to go around him in the slow part of the race. What do you have there? About 7 championships. The little 500 up at Anderson. Fry, I think 5, and Bloom has won it a couple of times. Bloom. There goes Fry on the inside of turn 2. Right. He's going to make him go stick, though. Yeah, he's going to make him run in the slow part of the racetrack. Bloom's going to stay in that fastest part. There's traffic out in front of him. There is Kelly in the 65 car, Workman the 45 car. There's traffic. Kelly moves over. Kelly did a good job getting out of the way. Let these guys race to the end. Looks like Workman's going to do the same thing. That's very good of those guys to let these guys race and not get in there and cause problems. Well, we're coming up on the completion of lap 28. There, Fry has a look to the inside again, and Bloom gets high in turn 4. He can't get by, though. Bloom just got a little bit high. That race car looks like it's just a little bit loose right now, and he's having to let it drift up in order to keep it straight. Look at Gordon. Look at Jeff Gordon. Every time he lets that thing drift up, Fry tries to sneak in under him. He just can't quite get it done right now. But look at Jeff Gordon. He's really gained on these guys in the last couple of laps. White flag, 1 lap to go. 0.68 miles. All right, show us your cards right now. There goes Gordon on the inside. They touch. Man, he hit his right rear right. He touched him. He just couldn't quite get it done. But that will give the victory to Bloom right there. It sure does. It lets those 2 guys fight it out. Let Bloom stay out in front, not fight it. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, Bloom has it right now. And Jeff picks up the victory. Jeff Bloom takes the checkered flag. All right, here is Eric Gordon. Can he take 5th position? Smokes that right rear? No. Bob Ciccone hangs on for 4th position, 5th position. Whoa, Jeff Bloom, our congratulations to the resident of the state of Michigan. He wins the 1990 Hulman Classic here at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
You're watching ESPN, the Total Sports Network.
The Tony Holman Classic has been brought to you by Head & Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when. Tonight's Cage Cam has been provided by CarQuest Auto Parts Store. For your nearest CarQuest store, call 1-800-492-PARTS. You'll find it at CarQuest. Our top 20 tonight, our congratulations to Jeff Bloom, who wins it. Second place going to Bob Fry. The youngster Jeff Gordon third. Johnny Parsons rode to fourth position, and Bob Ciccone rounding out the top 5. In the second 5, we have Eric Gordon. From the back of the pack, Jim Mahoney, Roy Carruthers, Dave Durnwald, and Charlie Workman. 11th through 15th positions going to Kurt Kelly, Doug Hevron, Don Schilling, Rick Howerton, Brad Marvel. And rounding out the top 20, we have Steve Butler, Greg Staub, Gene Lee Gibson, Red Stauffer, and Bruce Field. Well, adding his name to an impressive list of winners is Jeff Bloom. Here he is in victory lane.
Back in victory lane with Jeff Bloom, winner of tonight's main event at the Tony Holman Classic. And boy, you really drove a spectacular race. Everybody kept saying, well, he's going to fall back, but you did not.
No, we changed the car completely after the heat race. The car wasn't right. The motor wasn't running right. And we did a bunch of changed some bars and springs, and went back to the setup that we had before the last couple times here, and the car really worked well. I got to thank Goodyear for the tires. The tires are great. I want to thank Marcus Smith and Terry, the friends of mine, and we want to thank Hardee's for sponsoring the series, and everybody, all the fans that watch the show, everybody. I mean, it's a good deal. I'm glad the pavement's back, and I love to see the stands packed, and, it's just great.
Congratulations, Jeff Bloom, your winner of the Tony Holman Classic.
Well, Bloom, of course, is recognized for his pavement expertise, his third win in sprint cars. He's won in stock cars as well as the Silver Crown, and all due respect to, of course, Bloom and the veteran Bob Fry. The youngster, Jeff Gordon, was knocking on the door. He has been in victory lane so many times. We close with this tribute to Jeff Gordon. Our most vivid memories of the 1990 USAC season will be of one young man, only 19 years old, who has established himself as a likely heir to a motorsports throne. But the question is, which racing throne will it be? Here's a kid who cut his teeth in midget and sprint cars, but now says he's ready to tackle stock cars alongside of Waltrip and Earnhardt. But who could doubt that Jeff Gordon could be a star in Indy cars, perhaps of the magnitude of an A.J. Foyt? Or he could road race with the likes of Senna or Prost. One senses Jeff Gordon could master any series he might choose to challenge. Throughout the summer, he has been the hero at places like Ascot Park, IRP, Salem, and Winchester. So as we conclude another season of USAC open-wheel racing on ESPN, all of us at Saturday Night Thunder look forward to next season and to perhaps the discovery of a new rising star in the racing world. But I also know we'll be watching this year's hero, Jeff Gordon, driving into victory lanes of American motorsports for many years to come. For Larry Rice and Marty Reed, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next season.
ES